If you're a student watching this, you need to pay attention. Everyone nowadays is learning how to study. The race is simply getting harder. And now that we reach the point where pretty much everyone knows how to study, everyone knows effective study methods. So now that we've reached that point, how do we get ahead? What will separate the good students from the truly exceptional students? All right, the first thing you need to know is that most students who are already good at studying already know how to study effectively. They know how to blurt, they know how to revise for exams, they know how to use spaced repetition, flashcards, mind maps, blah, 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 and so much more. That's why I'm not going to go through those because that's pretty much common information at this day and age. So how do we play the game properly? How do we get ahead of the good students? The first and only rule that you will need to know is the 80-20 rule. Exactly what is the 80-20 rule and why is it so important in getting ahead of others as well as success in general? Well, first let me explain what the 80-20 rule is. So essentially the 80-20 rule states that 80% of your outcome comes from 20% of the effort. Now what it's essentially saying is that 20% of the things you do in a day account for pretty much 80% of the outcome. So what it's trying to say is that there are certain actions or certain tasks in your day that yield significant results compared to other tasks. So for example, organizing, planning, cleaning, reading, or highlighting are tasks that require a lot of time but don't yield that much results. Now, on the other hand, deep studying like active recall, all that yields a much more bigger outcome.
Okay, but you just mentioned that everyone's doing it already, so how the heck do I exactly get ahead?
Well, you get ahead by only doing those things a day, every day, again and again and again. I want you to focus only on those high-yielding tasks every day. Stop focusing on those low-outcome tasks like rereading or taking notes and all that. And I just want you to focus 80% of your energy on those highly effective study methods, because that will be a much more efficient use of your energy and time, because everyone has the same 24 hours. So now that the only thing separating the good students from the top students is literally work ethic, because everyone's good. Everyone knows how to study. The only difference is how much more effort you're going to put in. I'm going to be honest. Sure, talent plays a significant factor, but what separates the true 1% from everyone else is literally work ethic. Literally, I have a classmate who's always getting perfect in her quizzes. Like, I'm not even joking. And that person is always studying. Like, every time I see that person, she is just studying. She's studying for the next subject or the next class.
Well, I'm busy celebrating the end of exams.
So if you want to get ahead, you will have to put in a lot of effort. Now, I'm a big advocate for balance, but if you want to get ahead, if you want to be ahead of the curve, you will have to live a life different from other students, because let's face it, top students, top performing individuals don't live a normal life. An Olympic athlete does not train for a couple hours and then go home and relax. No, they train every day for hours and hours, and this goes the same for top students. I was able to achieve top marks in my batch simply because I put in the work, I put in the hours, rather than just simply relying on smart goals, smart habits, smart studying effective systems. I'm not joking when I say that you will literally have to lock in, which moves me to my next point, is that you will have to make compromises. This part of the video is sponsored by MusicBed. If you guys don't know, MusicBed is a licensing platform where you can find highly curated music and sound effects as well for your video production or YouTube or whatever creative project that you have. If you guys didn't know, MusicBed is known for their curated sound effects and music, like literally everything there just sounds so good. They have over 150,000 sound effects as well, and they were all handpicked. Like, they're all freaking handpicked. And the good thing about MusicBed is that MusicBed is just not a bunch of random sounds or just random royalty-free music. It's actually really highly created music. And their music used in ads, award filming work, films, and so much more. And as a creator, it's so freaking useful because I spend so much time just scrolling through music, finding the right one. But with MusicBed, like, I just find it within minutes because all of their songs and sound effects are just really that good. Again, you can check them out in the link in the description. I want to say thank you to MusicBed for supporting the channel. Anyway, back to the video. You will have to make compromises in your day, whether that be your friends asking you to hang out, whether that be spending some time with your family. If you want to get ahead, especially in this day and age, unfortunately, you will have to compromise on some areas in that regard. You will have to say no. You will need to say no to your friends who wants to hang out over the weekend. You might have to end family dinners early because you have to go study. Okay, now I'm not telling you to literally have no life. In fact, I encourage you to spend time with important people and have your own time and to have breaks and everything. What I'm trying to say here is that you need to learn how to say no when you know deep inside that you need to be studying or doing something important. Top students create clear boundaries with people they love. And these boundaries are not shutting them out. It's just a healthy way of saying, okay, look, I appreciate you inviting me, but I really have to focus this right now because this is top of my priority. And time with friends and family is not the only thing you'll be compromising if you want to get ahead. Lying down, watching YouTube videos, scrolling on TikTok or Instagram, watching a movie series and so on, you will have to cut those out because quite literally, you don't have enough time in the day to dilly-dally. You don't have enough time to just frolic around because you have stuff to catch up on. If you want to be a top student, you will have to sacrifice some things in order to prioritize your studies. Now, I want you to create the habit of saying no to your friends and family. Now, I don't just mean saying no, shutting them out. Instead, I'm trying to tell you to create boundaries. Boundaries is not the same as shutting them out. Just tell them that you need to prioritize something right now, and that's why you can't hang at a specific time. Now, obviously, you can't do this all the time. You can't just have a no life, like I said. I want you to practice turning down things when you know that something needs to be prioritized first. Because when you reject certain invites or hangouts, you kind of train your brain to make sacrifices in order for you to focus on what needs to be done first. I'm not saying that you're gonna shut them out forever. I'm just saying you need to focus on something first before you start spending your free time. Now remember, because they're important, naturally you will always make time to hang out with your friends and family. That's perfectly healthy. What I'm training you to do is to make healthy boundaries. Now, lastly, I feel like this is the most important yet underrated thing that you can do in the morning and you can apply to your morning routine. Because the problem is that after watching this video, you're probably motivated to become a top student, but the next morning, it's gone. The motivation is gone. Now, it's actually possible to prevent that. And it's possible to remain consistent and maintain the same mindset for such a long time. And that solution is to establish a morning alignment routine. I've been doing this for years now, and this kept me in the same mindset and the same consistency for so long. So every morning, literally dedicate a few minutes of aligning yourself to whatever you want to be or whatever you need to prioritize. Think of this like a morning manifestation routine, but not exactly. This is sort of a reminder to yourself first thing in the morning of what you need to prioritize in the day for your life. I do this almost every day, and this is what kept me going for so long without fail. And before this, I was always inconsistent. I was always consuming self-help content, but then the next morning it just disappears because I don't have a way to realign my mind to become laser focused and to focus on specific priorities. So after I started telling myself that I'm going to live an extraordinary life, I'm going to not take breaks because people who are in the top always push forward. I know that it's extreme, but you get the point. 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you could even do it with a candle and meditate, which I would actually highly recommend as it clears your mind as well. Try to at least align yourself in the morning before you start the day. Whatever you do, the first 30 minutes of your day will dictate the rest of your life. And this applies to sleep as well. Even if you align yourself, if you don't have enough sleep, if you don't have enough energy to supplement for the day, then what exactly is the point? So pairing with alignment, I want you to get a good rest as well. So now that you've watched this video, you have two choices. Are you just going to move on to the next one, or are you going to create an actionable plan? Good luck with school. Don't forget to drink your water. Bye. Oh, but please take it easy, okay? Like, at the end of the day, what matters is you're happy.